Social media has become an integral part of our lives, and while it has its benefits, it can also become addictive and negatively impact our mental health, our productivity, and even our relationships. Some people find themselves addicted to social media, scrolling through feeds for hours and constantly checking for notifications. And yes, I am part of some people. So I started reading on why we get addicted to social media and how we can overcome that addiction. And so in this video, I'm going to share the tips with you. Kindly subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. The first reason why you get addicted to social media is dopamine. When we receive likes, comments, shares, our brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good chemical that triggers reward and pleasure. This chemical reaction can become addictive and we find ourselves craving for likes and validations, and so you would always want to be on social media because someone has liked your post, someone has shared it, someone has commented it. It becomes addictive and you like that feeling you are getting through social media. The second reason why we are addicted to social media is the fear of missing out. We don't want to miss out on the latest news, the latest trend, the latest event, and this fear constantly drives us to check our notifications, to keep checking our feed to see what is new, what is next, what is trending, what's happening, and this also can let us get addicted to social media. The third reason is convenience. Social media is easily convenient. We can use it anywhere, anytime. Anywhere you are, you can easily use social media. Facebook is always with you as far as your phone is there. Instagram is there, Twitter is there, TikTok is there. And so because of the convenience that comes with it, you easily use it and you easily become addicted to it. The fourth reason here is social comparison. Social media fuels social comparison. You find yourself always comparing your life to others. How many likes did I get? How many followers do I have compared to other people in my circle? And this usually leads to depression, anxiety. Sometimes you're just anxious about it. Now let's look at how we can overcome social media addiction. The first tip here is to set boundaries. Setting boundaries can be very crucial in managing your social media addiction. You can set time limits or the times you want to be on social media and the times you do not want to be on social media. And even these boundaries can be as far as setting how you can have internet connection. So you can decide at certain times of the day you would not buy data for your phone or for your computer or whatever you use for your social media. And so setting boundaries is very crucial here. The second tip is to find alternative activities. This is very important. Sometimes it's because of boredom. That's why we find ourselves going through social media to scroll mindlessly. Sometimes it's because we are not busy. Sometimes there are just so many reasons why, but if you find other activities to replace the time you use for social media, then you would be able to overcome your addiction. Instead of picking your phone, why don't you pick a book to read? Why don't you exercise? Why don't you use that time to cook or something? Just make sure you find yourself busy. I've realized that certain days that I'm very busy, there's just a lot of things for me to do. I can go the whole day without even going on social media or using my phone to do other things. And so it's because you have enough time or so much time on your plate. That's why you find yourself scrolling through social media. Find alternative things to do and you will break that addiction. The third tip here is to try social media fast. I have tried this several times and I still do it, and it's very, very helpful. It's one of the ways you'll be able to break or stop your social media addiction. It's going to be very difficult from the beginning, but it's going to also be worth it. One day I just woke up and I was like, today I want to have self-control. I want to have control over my time. And the thought just came to me that don't go on social media. I was like, okay. And then I was there by 10 a.m. I was like, what am I going to do? I'll pick a book and read, and I get tired and I'll pick my phone. Okay, you can't go on social media. And it was the longest day of my life. I'm not even kidding. Somehow I didn't know what to do, and I was like, what if someone sends me a message? What if there's an emergency? What if I was just finding excuses why not to go on social media. So I told myself that okay, because of this, I'm actually going to try and not go on social media today, not use my phone to go anywhere, no Google, no Instagram, no Twitter, no Facebook, nothing, no WhatsApp. I was like, okay, and I actually was taking to it. I remember that day I told my friend that, hey, what's happened? She was like, nothing will happen. And the next day I went online, and to my shocking surprise, I didn't have any message from somebody, you should have seen the disappointment on my face. It was just group messages and all those kind of things. I was like, what? And I was feeling anxious, and I was so disappointed. And then I realized that people don't care. I mean, not in a bad way, but somehow everyone is focused on their life and trying to make themselves better, trying to figure out things. So it's not really a thing that, I mean, everybody should be messaging you or those kind of things. Need you urgently, they can give you a call, or if it's not urgent, anytime you come back on social media, you message them. And that was the hardest lesson I learned. From that day, I decided to pick one day a week, and I call it my social media fast, where I don't go on social media on that day, except for, I mean, there are cases where I have to be online during those days. If not, I usually don't go, and I find that I'm very productive that day. So the fourth tip is to use apps to limit screen time. There are several apps that can help you limit screen time. I use a digital well-being, which allows me to set a time limit for each of the apps on my phone. And so if I say I want to spend, let's say, 30 minutes on Instagram a day, I set 30 minutes, and after I have exhausted that 30 minutes, I would not be able to use Instagram again until the next day. And I have seen that this is helpful, even though sometimes it's a bit stressing, but it can also help you to overcome your social media addiction. The fifth tip is to turn off notifications. If we are all being honest, notifications is one of the easiest ways to get distracted on social media. Sometimes you put your phone down, you receive a notification here, and then you go to check that message, you find yourself scrolling through either WhatsApp or Instagram for the next 2 hours. And so if you're able to turn off notifications for certain apps and decide that maybe I'll check my messages at the beginning of the day, at the middle of the day, and at the end of the day, then you would be able to avoid social media addiction. The next point is to use alarms to help you stay alert. This might seem a little extreme, but you just want to break that social media addiction, right? And so you can decide to set your phone that an alarm rings every hour, and that happens. So if in case you are a little distracted and you are on social media, when the alarm rings, that means you would put your phone aside and go focus on the work you were doing. So you are using alarm to help you get focused. And anytime you drift off into social media and just scrolling mindlessly, the alarm will always ring to help you get back to what you were doing already. Social media addiction is actually a problem that affects a lot of people in today's world, and so understanding why we get addicted to it is one of the first steps in which you would be able to overcome that addiction. And I hope these tips I've shared to you will be helpful and you'll be able to break your social addiction. Check my video here on why we procrastinate and how to overcome that procrastination. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.